Hello, I am Tarpon Thompson.
And I am Gail Thompson.
This is a video of our 2018 Microsafari.
In our Microsafari, we will try to meet some of the cute little creatures living in fetid waters around us.
We will then explore the parts of the cell and their functions. Hello, we are at the Coral Gables Canal where it enters Coral Gables from West Miami.
We are hunting the wily paramecium, but we're hoping for the rare amoeba, which have proven difficult to find.
We've bought an assortment of tools for collecting water and scum. We bought a ladle for scooping up the water, a turkey-based stirrer for sucking up the water as well, and a ladle for scraping scum off. Of course, we're going to wear gloves while doing this. We also brought
some containers labeled and ready to put the samples into. To view microorganisms, you take a clean slide, the slightest drop of methyl cellulose to slow down the microorganisms, and then you take some of the sample, which you're going to use in this case, pond scum. You drip it on top, spread it around a little bit. And if needed, a bit more of the clear water. And then you very carefully put the cover slip on. And then you have a slide.
We took a slide which we made and put it on the stage of the microscope. We also have the microscope set to a lower magnification, thus not hit the slide with the lens. And the microscope's connected to the television so everyone can enjoy the hunt.
Before we take a look at what we found on the microscope, let's explore parts of their cell and their functions using these paper-mache models that Tobin and I made.
Let's start with the animal cell. The plasma membrane is the skin of the cell that protects and contains the cell's contents, called the cytoplasm. It may also have structures of its own, such as microvilli, cilia, and flagella. Microvilli are finger-like projections that increase the cell's surface area. Cilia are short hair-like structures connected to the cytoskeleton. They beat back and forth either to move the cell or to guide the food into the digestive system. Flagella are longer tail-like structures containing cytoskeleton microtubules. They move the cell with a corkscrew motion. Our model of the animal cell is a flagellum.
The cytoskeleton is the structural support system of the cell. In this model, it is depicted with yarn. The cytoskeleton is made of microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments. All the microtubules originate in one spot called the centrosome. The centrosome contains two structures called centrioles. Proteins act on the cytoskeleton to reduce movement.
The nucleus contains the cell's genetic instructions, which are encoded on deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. In our model, we used a tangled ball of yarn to represent chromatin, which is an indistinct mix of proteins and DNA. When the cell divides, chromatin organizes into visible structures called chromosomes. The nucleolus, depicted here with darker yarn, is where ribonucleic acid, RNA, and components for making ribosomes are produced. A double membrane separates the nucleus from the rest of the cell, called the endoplasm. Nuclear pores throughout the double membrane allow transport of RNA and other substances between the nucleus and endoplasm. Ribosomes use information carried by the RNA to produce proteins for the cell. In our model, ribosomes are depicted as small blue dots and spheres.
Endoplasmic reticulum is a structure of membranes connected to the nucleus. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, represented here by folds of adding machine tape, has many ribosomes on its surface. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum does not have ribosomes. These structures are responsible for producing many of the substances used or excreted by the cell.
This folded paper represents the Golgi apparatus, which manages the storage and distribution of proteins and other substances in the cell. It receives, sometimes modifies, sometimes produces, sometimes distributes, or excretes as needed. Vesicles, which are small membranes carrying substances through the endoplasm, merge with or depart from the Golgi apparatus. Peroxisomes break down different substances such as alcohols and fatty acids. These reactions produce harmful hydrogen peroxide as a byproduct. Specialized enzymes contained in the peroxisome convert this hydrogen peroxide into water to protect the cell.
Lysosomes digest food in damaged organelles using enzymes to produce simple substances like sugars. But the cell's machinery does not run directly off sugar. Mitochondria transform the energy stored in sugars, fats, and other fuels to a form the cell can use. This energy is used to convert adenosine diphosphate, ADP, into adenosine triphosphate, ATP. ATP is then distributed throughout the cell, carrying this energy with it. The cell's proteins use the energy stored in ATP to function, converting this molecule back into ADP. ADP then returns to the mitochondria for recharging like a used battery. It is worth saying that mitochondria are the only organelles besides the nucleus that have DNA. Next, what is different about a plant cell? In addition to the plasma membrane, plant cells have a rigid cell wall made of cellulose, which is the building block of wood and paper.
Multi-celled plants need circulation that bypasses this cell wall. Plasmodesmata are holes in the cell wall of adjacent cells that connect the endoplasm so it can flow freely between cells.
Chloroplasts are the solar panels of cells. They receive energy from the sun and convert it into sugars using chlorophyll.
Vacuoles and vesicles are spherical membranes inside the cell. These perform transport functions in both animal and plant cells, but only plant cells have a large central vacuole for storage. In plants, some of the smaller vacuoles take the place of the lysosome found in animal cells.
Let's take a look at some of these features in the samples we collected.
This moss is a good example of a multicellular plant. You can clearly see the cell walls.
We saw several types of algae in our samples.
We like this algae with a flagellum because we could see its central vacuole nucleus and chloroplasts.
Look at the cilia on this. As it glides past, we wouldn't have seen this detail without metal sonos to slow it down.
Here we have 2 flagellates on screen at once.
And this is an example of a cell with 2 flagella.
We watched the cell for now because the way it was moving inside. We couldn't tell whether it was trying to divide or just had bad indigestion.
We lost sight of it behind some dirt before we could find out.
We really wanted to find an amoeba, but we had no idea what this was when we recorded it. It turned out to be an amoeba in its free-floating state called an amoeba radiosa.
It's reaching out with pseudopods trying to find something to attach.
Help me. We finally found an amoeba doing what we expected.